Hey everyone, I'm here in the dark, walking back to my place here outside of Paris in the suburbs in Ma Maison. It's a tough one for me to say. Did about a nice 12-mile walk around the Seine to see how the QR code worked and how the security areas were being set up. And the good news is, if you have a QR code, you're gonna be able to pretty much get in anywhere throughout the day. And so what they were doing was checking your ID and the QR and scanning it and then letting you in. And so the great thing about it was the fact that a lot of people didn't know about it. And so when you did get into these areas, there's just a lot less people. So if you keep watching, you kind of see the various areas I cover. So I'm here at the Alexandre III Bridge. Things are blocked off here. As you saw earlier, I was able to get through security with my pass Jeux. And there's a lot of people who are getting turned back because they didn't know that you needed one. And once you're out here and you're within the zone, it's pretty open. You can walk through. There's passageways and there's fencing, scaffolding, things are being blocked off. And obviously there's a lot of construction going on for the stands for the opening ceremony. So right behind me, right here is Invalides. And it's totally blocked off right now with construction, fencing. They're building entrances for all the events later on and for spectators to get through. Over here on the other side, we've got Grand Palais. One of the things is it's kind of nice. There's not a lot of people out here, so it feels pretty quiet and cars are limited. I think it's only cars that have access. A lot of people are on bikes, scooters. So I'm not sure how things are going to be on the day of the opening ceremony, but if you're in the area, you could see right behind me, those are the stands for the lower Quay. And so I'm standing here in the upper Quay, and I'm not exactly sure how they're going to barricade this area later on, but you can see right behind me, it's pretty open. There's light stands and such for, I'd imagine, just for people and also for TV festivities for the cameras. But if people are going to be allowed to stand up here, then that would be great for those who are able to access it. But I'm not sure how security is going to be on that day. But you can see they're doing a lot of construction still right behind me. They're working on it right now. But yeah, that's kind of how the setup is here by the Alexandre III Bridge. On the street level, the police are blocking off access on both sides. But on this bridge, pedestrians are able to walk all the way across. So they are allowing people to cross over without a QR code. But if you were to go over here to Musée d'Orsay, you won't be able to on the street. They've got their own entrance on the other side of the building. I'm gonna go back and try to get into Tuileries across the street with my passage. So here's a gate blocking Tuileries, looking towards the Louvre. So this whole area is blocked off. And they've got fencing just to allow you to walk through from one side to the other. Over here is the Musée de l'Orangerie, which I've got a QR code for, so I am going to present my ticket and my QR code and try to get in. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
J'ai un billet pour Musée de l'Orangerie.
Oui, c'est ici.
C'est ici. Et j'ai un papier aussi.
Ok, c'est bon, monsieur.
C'est bon? Merci beaucoup. Merci, bonne journée. And so I'm in. There's not a lot of people inside of the area for the Musée de l'Orangerie. It's quite nice. Kind of feel like it's your own private tour of this end of the gardens. So here's Place de la Concorde up ahead. You can see the obelisk. Yeah, so if you're familiar, this is the fountain on the way towards Place de la Concorde. During the holiday season, they've got Ferris wheel up. It's pretty festive for Christmas. And so there's just no one around here. And they've got the fencing up here all along towards Place de la Concorde. The ducks in Paris, they do not need a QR code, so they're just chilling. So it was nice to visit the Musée de l'Orangerie. It's been about 9 years or so for me since I first visited it, and I would recommend anyone to go check out the paintings. It's pretty impressive to see the panoramics in person, just how big it is, and just the framing of it is, I think, pretty incredible. So, and then here out in the park, it's pretty dead. It's pretty quiet. All the cafes and such are closed, so you just don't get that sense of people hanging out and just that energy. And so I'm gonna go check out Île de la Cité, which is where Notre Dame is, in that area, and see if I can even get on it with my QR code, and also Saint Louis, the other island, and see if I can even cross over there. So I'm gonna go check that out and see what other bridges are open. On y va. So I'm gonna try to pass through with my pass Jeux over here to the right.
C'est bon.
C'est bon. Merci beaucoup. I crossed over to the other side on the right bank, the Rive Droite, and so they checked my QR, scanned it, looked at my ID, looked at my face, and that was it. So I'm able to walk across on this side. So it seems like you'll be fine if you have a QR code. You could kind of go anywhere at the moment. On the other side of the street, it's all fenced off, so people who are at the shops and cafes are enjoying themselves, but cordoned off by this fence. So there is an entrance here on the Place des Pyramides. So you can see this area. We've got gates and such. Looks like it's gonna be a huge show with all these lights here in the ground. You kind of see all the equipment right behind me here. And then right back there is the Louvre. So behind me is the Arc de Triomphe du Carrousel. And so this area where I'm standing in is the area where you need a QR code to access it. And then in front of it, just on the other side, is the Louvre. And so here's the pyramid entrance for the Louvre. This is Place du Carrousel, and there's a road over here where the cars enter in from. And so this area is blocked off. So people who are at the Louvre, they don't need a QR code to get into it, but once they're in it, they can't cross over because there's a fence blocking them from entering this area over here. So the carousel bridge to the Louvre is completely closed off. They've got construction going on, scaffolding going up, stands going up, and so that's what the bridge looks like now. If you don't have a ticket to the opening ceremony and want to watch it, it might be possible just from the vantage point at times, depending on where you stand. There's fencing, but you can get a view of the bridge here. I think that's Pont des Arts, the arts bridge. Not sure what the situation will be on that day for those who don't have tickets but have access to this area, who live in this area, work in this area. So Pont des Arts, the arts bridge, is a bridge that you can cross over. You have a QR code. Those who don't, I don't think they can even access this area to even access this bridge to walk over. And it connects you all the way over to the Louvre on this side. So I'm here on the bottom quay between the Pont des Arts, the arts bridge, and Pont Neuf, the new bridge. So I was able to walk down here. There are some people taking a walk down here, and there's people sitting at the edge of the island over here, Île de la Cité, near Pont Neuf, just chilling, enjoying some shade under the tree here. The weather's really nice today. So over here we're looking at the left bank over Saint-Germain, and then going back left here, there's Notre Dame in the background. This is St. Michael's Bridge, and it's closed for those who are inside with a QR code. So if you've got a QR code, you can get to Saint-Chapelle over here on this side of the street here on Île de la Cité. In front of me is where all the pedestrians are crossing over. So here you can kind of see the difference between the right side, which has a lot more people crossing over. Those people don't have a QR code. And then the left side here on the sidewalk, which are only for people with QR codes. So across the way is the Notre Dame Bridge, which is where the majority of people are crossing. And so there's a lot of traffic on that end. So you can go across without a QR code. You'll be on the on the side that is further to the east side of the bridge. So that's the side that pedestrians can cross over without a QR code. And then I crossed over here on the northern side of Île de la Cité and came across here on the Arcole Bridge, which connects you to the City Hall, Hôtel de Ville. And so, as you can see, there's not that many people on this side right now because it is restricted. So it's about 8 o'clock here right now, and there's still a lot of people out right here. You can see they're walking across, and there's fencing, and they're taking photos from across the fence. And so if you have a QR code, you can actually access Notre Dame. And they've got a nice wooden bleacher that they've set up here for people to be able to sit and take photos and just enjoy kind of the peace and quiet in here. It's kind of nice because there's not a lot of people. Plus it's late in the evening, but I'd imagine there's just a lot more people during the day. So Île Saint Louis at the moment, it's like 8:30 or so. It's pretty quiet. Being able to cross over was good. And then coming up here, we've got some palm trees lining the bridge up here. What is this bridge? So it's Pont Louie-Phillip. It's a small bridge. So we're looking at the Seine here on the right bank. Île de la Cité is kind of ahead to the left. Down below here on the left is Île Saint Louis. And you can see some stands on the right side, and I believe those are Section B tickets for the opening ceremony. And Hôtel de Ville is also to the right side. So this is the metro station Bir Hakeim, and there's a lot of people at the gates and fencing that are not able to get through because they don't have a pass Jeux. And so with the pass, I was able to get through just fine. And there's some families and some people who got through as well because they had it, and others just didn't know that you needed one. So I was able to make it out here to Trocadéro, and this is where the artistic portion of the opening ceremony would be. And just as I got here, the Eiffel Tower is being lit up. And the rings at the moment are white, so they were all the different Olympic colors earlier, but I'm not sure what this is for. But able to get to Trocadéro and the Eiffel Tower, and it's kind of cool because Pont is usually full of vehicular traffic. So right now it's all closed off for mainly pedestrians, and then cars do come, but they're mainly the cars that are working the event. So it's kind of nice to be able to hang out and see the area as mainly a pedestrian area. I would definitely recommend all you guys who have one to come out here in the evening when the lights are on. So that's basically how the Seine looked on the first day using the QR code. And so you've got yours. Just remember, you can go in and out at any time throughout the day at any place that requires one. And then for those of you who don't have one, try to get one if you can. It took me about 7 days to get it, so maybe you'll be able to get one by next week at some point, hopefully. Otherwise, enjoy your time at the Olympics or in Paris. And remember, after the 26th, there's not going to be a QR code required on the Seine any longer. So just know that you'll be able to enjoy your trip after the 26th without having to worry about this. The only reason you need one at that point is if you need to ride in a car or a ride share or a taxi to get to an area that is covered by a red zone. And so I know some of you may need a taxi from the airport to get to your hotel or whatnot, and there might be like a road race or something like that that has a red zone encompassing it. So you will either have to get out before that area and walk through the red zone, or you'll need to request for a passenger. Otherwise, don't worry about it. Enjoy the rest of your time this summer in Paris, and see you soon. Take care.